Today we're gonna learn how to draw a painted turtle. What I love about art is that you can find inspiration anywhere. When I was out on a walk with my daughter yesterday, we found a painted turtle. And we talked about how to be nice to animals and how to let them be, especially when we're out in nature and we don't interfere with what they're already doing. We just say hi and then we can look at them and move along. But with art, it's so fun to look at the details and really admire nature. So that's what we're gonna learn to do today, is to draw a painted turtle.
Hi.
Say, how are you doing?
I'm doing. I'm doing.
Is he gonna go? Yeah. What you're going to need is some white paper, and I like to use this style of permanent marker. It has the really skinny tip to it. I like to use this when I'm doing a more detailed picture. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start with the head of the turtle. We're gonna draw a line that kind of curves like this. Then we're gonna draw the top part of the head. Now let's make our turtle nice and happy. We're gonna draw the smile. Now let's add the eye. We're going to draw a circle. We're going to put a circular shape on the inside, like this. Now let's draw 3 lines inside of it, like that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw a line that kind of goes like this. So we're gonna curve and connect it. We're gonna draw this line out just a little bit more. And maybe extend this one out a little bit more if you need to. Now we're gonna start to draw the shell. We're gonna do a kind of curved line. Then we're gonna do the big part of the shell like this. Now we're going to curve here. And we're gonna draw the rest of the shell, so we're gonna connect it. Now let's start adding a little bit of the details to the shell and the neck here and here. Let's start right here. Draw a curved line. This line right here is going to be kind of like a rainbow line. The curved arch. Now on the neck, we're going to kind of do the same thing. We're just drawing these stripes on the painted turtle. Okay, now let's start working on the details here. We're gonna start with the pattern on the shell. So now your shapes might look a little bit different than mine, because that's just what happens when we're working on art. So if you have a different shape, just kind of get the idea of adding this extra line. So we're putting a little bit of space in between each of these shapes. So this type of shape on these shells, we call them organic. So that means in nature, things that aren't necessarily a square, a circle, a rectangle, they're more organic. They're kind of free shapes. Okay, so we're still working on these organic shapes here. Now we're gonna work down the shell a little bit. What we're leaving open right now is this part right here along the edge of the shell. So we're leaving some negative space there right now, and we'll fill it in a little bit. We're still working on these organic shapes in the shell. See how I'm just kind of following the shape of the ones that I've already done? It's kind of like a puzzle. We're just kind of filling in these shapes in the shape that it created. There, so now what we're going to work on are the shapes inside here, right along the edge. So we're kind of making that gap nice and thin. And we're just making our little puzzle shapes in here now. Remember, if I'm ever going too fast for you, just pause. You can always re-watch parts to make sure you understand what to do next. I'm really liking how this is turning out so far. There. Now we're gonna start adding the legs and the tail. So let's start with a front leg up here. We're gonna draw a line going down and then another line going down like this. And we're gonna kind of curve out. This part's gonna be a little bit bumpy because this is where the claws are gonna be. Now we're gonna draw another front leg right here. So that kind of curves like this. And then remember there's gonna be some claws here, so we make it kind of a bumpy line. Then the back leg. Remember, kind of bumpy, because they're gonna have some claws right there. Now let's add the tail. Right there. Now we're going to add kind of the lower part of the shell. So let's draw a line right here, kind of a little line like that. Then we're gonna draw the rest of the shell to this back leg. Now let's start adding some details on the legs just like we did to the neck. We're going to add those curved lines, like the painted turtles have. They have really pretty designs on them. Now let's add our claws. We're gonna do curved lines like this. They have really sharp claws. Now these ones are gonna kind of curve back. Really sharp and pointy. Now these ones we'll do like this. There. Now our turtle is all done. Now it's time to paint our turtle. What I've done is I've mixed together some green and black for the shell. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint the whole shell this kind of greenish black color. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make kind of a darker black green for around here. So I'm gonna add a little bit more black to what I had already made. Let's add a little water, a little more green. time to add a little pop of color. Let's do a little bit of orange. I'm gonna add a tiny touch of red to it for the bottom shell. We're gonna color in with our paintbrush the stripes and then the eye too. Now all that's left is the claws.